Hey everyone, Aaron here. Welcome to KPC Underground. I am here tonight with Matt Dusk, Canadian crooner, jazz singer, platinum selling, amazing Sinatra guy. You know, he's here. He's here tonight, and I'm very excited to be sitting down with Mr. Matt Dusk, the one, the only. Thank you so much for being here.
This is great. I'm here with Aaron, and we're talking about how much we love doing this.
This is amazing. Matt is you're playing a sold out show, 100% sold out, 0 seats available. That, I have to say, I mean, that's a feat, you know, no matter when you do it, but especially now in 2023, that is hard to do.
It is. It's crazy because, 2 years ago, we were basically like locked up, and we like live music, we were questioning, would it actually come back? Right. And then when things started to open up again, here we are. Some people weren't ready to go out yet. Yeah. So, as performers, we haven't had the opportunity to perform in a while. Meanwhile, we've been doing this for almost, 10, 15, 20 years, and now you're told you have to stop. When we're ready to go and we go back out and nobody shows up or very few people show up, you have this sense of like, is music dead?
Right.
Is this gone? Is the live experience gone? And what I've discovered is that it's actually coming back bigger than ever.
Right.
And, it speaks to the testament of, Sinatra's music and how it's still relevant now in 2023.
Mm. Yeah. I was going to ask you too, what do you think it is about, other than just, people want to come to hear your lovely voice and everything, but to connect to Sinatra, I think there is something inherently kind of nostalgic, obviously, about that kind of music. What do you think that is that people connect so much to?
I think if Sinatra was alive, I would be out of a gig. Yeah. Like, this is the truth. Like, people like myself and other contemporary crooners, like, we're carrying the torch on. And we're kind of like the next iteration of it. Just like, Bing Crosby came out and then Frank Sinatra came out. And there's this like definite mentorship that we've learned through the past. However, music nowadays, unfortunately, because of technology, almost has become disposable. It's like sometimes if an artist puts so much effort towards a track or an album, and just because it wasn't given the right release schedule or the distributor didn't have attention for it, it's kind of lost. But back in the old days, there was very limited distribution. They had gatekeepers. So the music of that past was not only sung by Sinatra, but was also, sung by Ella Fitzgerald or played by Nat King Cole and also sang by him. So those songs are ingrained in American and, even Canadian history as well.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting. It is that kind of escapism, I think, in the good way, that music kind of, that's what it does for us. In a way, it helps us remember. And that's what, to me, it's that nostalgia of kind of remembering a vibe or just remembering having a good time. Yeah, remembering the past.
It's like the holidays, really. Like, this is where this music is still relevant.
Sure.
Like my daughter, she grows up to Nat King Cole and Bing Crosby, right? And as she gets older, she'll probably remember that. So, we don't necessarily have that as much as we used to. And that's why I think when people come out to see our shows and celebrate that music, they're kind of reliving those great memories.
Yeah, and it makes it extra special too.
Absolutely.
Because you don't often go to, there aren't really that many crooner types.
We're a dying breed.
We can I can think of Michael Bublé and maybe a few others, but
Harry Connick.
Yeah, Harry Connick Jr. Of course, but. And Matt Dusk, this is it, So, no, but I think it will be really special. So fun that it's sold out tonight. Speaking of escapism, you kind of got one of your breaks, in the most escapey type of city that we have here in the United States, Las Vegas, and in your sort of residence there at the Golden Nugget.
Yeah.
What was your experience there as a Canadian? I don't know if it felt like kind of coming from the outside looking in on this sort of anomaly city.
Well,
it's such a strange. I just got back from Vegas, and it was so strange being
there.
It's different
now too.
Yeah, right. I'm sure, but it was such it felt like a mix of Disneyland and I don't know what else. But what was your experience like there?
So, when I used to watch stuff about Las Vegas, it was following the Rat Pack, or seeing Sinatra in his later years, or Elvis Presley clips of him playing at what used to be the old, I think it was the Hilton back in the day, or Intercontinental. Anyway, I always saw myself as eventually playing in Vegas, not as a a performer, as having a residency, but more so having the opportunity to walk on sacred ground, to you know, just even having just one moment of a chance of that.
Right.
And I didn't realize it would happen so early. I think I started working there when I was 23 or 24. And funny enough, we were just there 3 weeks ago.
Okay. That was when I was there. We were there
it was Smith Center.
Okay.
And 2 sold-out shows, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
And we stayed at the Golden Nugget, where I got my career started in Vegas. And every time I go back there, I don't know what the heck's going on. Yeah. It changes so fast.
It's a wild place.
And the guys that I know who live there, who used to go see Sinatra all the time, they come to our shows because, again, we're all going down memory lane together.
Sure.
They're like, I don't even know Vegas, and I lived here my whole life, right? So it's definitely the town, a party town for sure.
Yeah, and I think that it's definitely connected to that. Like we said, it's that memory of it's those memories of like, wow, these amazing, American performers, they were here, they were on this stage, they were in this hotel, and just the legends that you hear.
But funny, it's
people.
like, as a Canadian looking in, I'm from Toronto, which is like, I don't know, 6-7 million people. For us, it's like Las Vegas is a small town, right?
Right.
So when I went down there, I remember one of the most things I was not prepared for is I remember I landed and went to the Sahara Hotel, staying that night. And it was late night, morning, wake up. I'm there alone, and I go to the where the valet parking is, and I say, "Hey, where can I grab a bite to eat?" And they're like, "Oh, this great place called the Pepper Mill." The Pepper Mill, which is on Las Vegas Boulevard, been there since the 70s. Like, they haven't renovated anything. Get there, it's 9:30 in the morning. Sit down, and this lady comes around, and she's like, "Oh, hi, how you doing, hun? Can I get you something to drink?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd love a coffee." She's like, "Oh, no, this is for the alcohol." And I was like, wait, 9:30? She's like, oh yeah, it's Vegas, baby. So from a Canadian's point of view, I was just like, really?
Yeah. We stayed at the Flamingo when I was there, and it was like, I guess I didn't realize that all the hotels you can smoke in the hotels, because there's casinos in the hotels, and they want you to smoke and sit at
never leave.
But it was such a shock, especially coming from Seattle, which is a very clean city. Yes. Going down there and just right into the hotel, and a guy's just got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. I'm like, this is old school.
What year
man.
is this?
This is like, that's kind of what that place is for, So it's a fun spot.
I still enjoy going back.
Yeah. In reading your bio, you are huge in Poland.
Yes.
What is that all about?
I just think because Michael Bublé doesn't go there.
Is that?
So, yeah. It's, no.
No, I mean, it's like your records that you've released. It's like, it went gold and then it went platinum in Poland, and he's it's like you're platinum selling in Poland. What is the connection to?
I've asked a lot of people this question as well.
Yeah,
because
you're not sure either.
Well, because there's always a story, right?
Sure.
So I do have a deep connection to Poland because my wife is from there.
Oh, okay.
So it's everyone going, person from Poland going to Canada, American movie star comes back. It's how it's all interpreted on the way back. But I will say, after spending so much time there, even though English isn't a first language for them, many people do speak English. Yeah. They'll still come to shows, and they'll still phonetically sing along, and it shows you the power of a great song.
Right.
How it literally not only transcends oceans, but also different cultures.
Right.
So I get my vodka and pierogies there all the time.
That's it. That's it. And I think you have a show coming up in September there.
September, and then I got a whole tour there, and Romania and Lithuania and all the
amazing
places in Eastern Europe where nobody goes.
Yeah, and also last thing, it was also in reading your bio, it was like, and he did this with a 40-piece orchestra, and then it was like, and then this was with the 60-piece orchestra, and then this was with an 80-piece orchestra.
Just
and
gross.
so what's next for you? Is it the 200-piece orchestra, or what's next for you?
No, it's just Kirkland. That's it. I'm retiring.
I'm
done after this.
This is all you need, a sold-out show here at KPC. But do you have plans for a next record or anything like that? Or you're touring?
I'm a musician. We always have a million ideas. You're a musician as well, right? We're always thinking. It's funny. I've been entrenched in jazz music for so long, ever since I was a kid. But this is going to come as a shocker to most people. But I actually listen to music outside of jazz. I listen to pop music and electro and house music.
That's my jam. Right.
Really?
There. Oh yeah, pop music. Yeah.
So it's like there can be music is one of those things that you can find whatever you want in it at any one time. It's yours.
Right.
So this is going to sound crazy, but I'm doing like a symphonic soft house record.
Love it.
For like laid back listening.
Yes.
2 a.m. in the morning, cocktails.
I'm
and
all
just
about
like
that.
Doom, 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 doom. Because sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just vibing with you. That sounds amazing.
It's the kind of music I listen to at home.
Right.
It's like Frank Sinatra or like Avicii.
Right. And I think, it'd be really interesting to hear what you bring to that kind of with the jazz background, because I think a lot of people who make that music maybe don't have the complexity of knowledge of kind of just even the jazz, vocabulary, so to speak, musically. So
like you're a player, you understand, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the most complicated thing is taking everything you know and stripping it down to basics.
Right.
Taking the chords you know, maybe add a seventh, maybe add a second, if you're lucky, and then, or a ninth, whatever.
Right.
But then at the end of the day, you got to learn how to sing the way people like to listen to singing now, which has also changed. Like you don't hear Pavarotti in the top 40 anymore. Mm. You don't hear Elvis Presley in the top 40 anymore. And you got Billie Eilish, who's, sound like this, right? And it's massively popular. Yep. So it's not saying you're conforming to something, but you're learning from other people where you thought that was, wasn't your jam, but you can learn a new tool.
Yeah. I relate to that a lot, actually, because I grew up doing kind of more like the punk and the alternative side of music, but then realized, 10 or so, maybe 15 years ago, that I just love pop music.
Yeah.
And part of that was I became an engineer and did recording and stuff for the last 20 years. But I think what I realized is those records are like, all of the best people are working on those records, and so it's all the best engineers, producers, songwriters too, because that's kind of where the money is, so to speak. But what I learned was exactly that. It was I fell in love with like making music for ordinary people, and it was like I liked imagining what they would like, and I liked putting myself in their shoes, and instead of despising that common person audience, just embracing it.
It's funny, a lot of the guys in the band have said those exact same words. It's like, I'm tired of playing this. I just want to share my music with others. And there's nothing to say that being simple can't be amazing.
Right.
Because you can relate to so many more people. But people also listen to jazz music still too. Like, don't get it.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah.
I listen to it when I go to restaurants. It's in the background. So
right.
Like
Well, no, and I think a sold out show is testament to the fact that, because we don't, honestly, we're ramping back up here at KPC, but we used to have sold out seasons. It was every show was sold out before. It was like if you didn't buy tickets 4 months in advance. But it is not that way anymore. It's not like that. Because people are, like you said, they're scared to come back, whatever it is. But
also, I think it's also that people got into a really comfortable habit of chilling out at home and going, why do I have to drive today?
Exactly. So it's taken some convincing, but you've done a great job, I think, through your music. Thank you. And the sold out show tonight just shows that. So anyway, thanks so much for sitting down with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And
this has been fun.
All of you out there, definitely check out Matt Dusk, mattdusk.com for all of his upcoming tour dates and info on him and his albums and things like that. You can request a show. I saw a button for request a show. So if you're like a multimillionaire out there and you want to request a show in your backyard, hey, hit him up.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
We can do a karaoke dance party. Like, what can go wrong?
Thanks so much for sitting down with us and chatting.
You're awesome.
All right. See you guys next time. Thanks for joining us for KPC Underground. If you're enjoying this podcast, please consider supporting KPC at kpcenter.org/donate. Your generosity helps us keep this and other programs going at Kirkland Performance Center. Be sure to check out our website for the latest events coming up. And hey, we'd also love to hear from you. Please rate our podcast, like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. And if you have a specific question or an idea for a show, email us at podcast@kpcenter.org. Thanks for listening.